Hello and welcome back to part 4 of our summer 2025 adventures. When we left you in part 3, we were exiting the ferry from Coopville to Port Townsend, Washington. After a bit of a drive, we found our way to Olympic National Park. We stayed at Soldock Springs Resort Campground, which, as you can see, was beautiful. This was probably our second favorite campground of the whole trip. The campground was lovely, and the neighbors were too. At about 1,400 square miles, Olympic National Park is vast. Our first adventure took us from Soldock Campground to the Hoh Rainforest, and we found out just how vast the park really is. Despite leaving early, we got one of the last parking spaces. Okay, this is the Hall of Moss's trail, and it took us 2 hours to get here.
10 minutes to get through it.
Yeah, and we got a parking spot, which is pretty amazing. Got up at 6 and just barely got the last spot, so if you're coming here, get up early because a lot of people want to see the Hall of Mosses. In addition to incredible plant life, the Hoh Rainforest also has amazingly clear spring water running through it, which we were not expecting. It's pretty cool, huh? Yeah, these views are pretty neat. Something you don't see every day. As you might expect in a rainforest, there were lots of trees, moss, and ferns. Please enjoy the following photos of these things you don't see every day, but that we did see on this day along the Spruce Nature Trail. We thought this one looked like a 7. This is what a stump looks like after a tree has just fallen. We actually heard 2 trees fall at different points on our trip. They were incredibly loud. Who is this little tree tunnel of love for? So this is pretty amazing. The tree fell over, looking at the bottom, and then all these other trees grew out of the top of it. Neat, and heart-shaped too. It's giving its love to the new trees. Here's that same tree from the side, then come along. These guys are growing up from the life keeps going. Many thanks to this guy for proving my point. Go, little caterpillar, go. This is explaining that there was a tree that fell and all these trees grew out from it as the nurse log, and now they're all in a row. Pretty neat. Another pretty spectacular view here. You can hear the creek. We got a sunny day in the rainforest. I forgot my sunglasses. Okay, this is a really tall tree. Man. It's another big tree. Down here we got one with the moss all over it. Circle of life kind of thing. It's the circle of life. So Joanna found this one. It looks like one tree at the base, but then you go up and it splits. So it's like Siamese twins. And if you look, all the woodpeckers have been pecking at that one. We saw a woodpecker doing that very thing on one of our last hikes. Cool. I don't really understand how this tree is standing up. Interesting. Not a bad day. Came out of the Spruce Nature Trail and this river here. But you can make it. You made it.
Before we left the Hoh Rainforest, we made a couple of new friends.
Hello, baby deer. Oh, there's another one over here.
Mother deer over there?
I don't see mother deer. How close can I get? That close. There's that guy again.
After leaving the Hoh Rainforest, we headed towards another of Olympic National Park's famous landmarks, Rialto Beach.
These pinnacles are what this beach is known for. We're walking a while to get to this one. And then we're going to see the keyhole, which is apparently a hole in the rock. It's all been worth it to walk way over there, over to here. Oh, we'll get there. So weird being on this beach in Washington because right next to the ocean and all that, we've got this rocky beach and then all these pine trees. Which feels a little strange to us, I guess. Anyway, we're going for a walk down the beach in Rialto, Washington. Alrighty. There's the big pinnacle, and just beyond it to the right, you can see the keyhole, which is a hole in the rock. Anyway, we've had enough of this walk, so we're going to head back. Rialto Beach. Ooh, they cut a big bird over there. Look at that. One's kite. Alrighty, back we go. Oh man, raccoons aren't good swimmers. Bummer, buddy.
On our second day at Olympic National Park, we got up early again and drove up the mountain to Hurricane Ridge. It's rare that you have a view like this from a parking lot, and so we had to get some beauty shots of our little van, the Love Shack Junior. There are plenty of options for our hike on this morning, but before we got started, we had to take in the view just one more time.
Walking Hurricane Ridge today.
Here we are, all set to go. First thing on the hike, we found some lovely meadow scenes with trees and flowers. And you know who loves flowers?
Hello, bunny. Do something cute. He's not scared.
The cute little guy was just having his breakfast and wasn't bothered by us at all.
Pretty spectacular morning. And once again, we got up at 6 from our campsite. It is now 9 a.m. So it takes a while to get to places here in Olympic National Park.
These are a couple of the early views on which trail?
Hurricane Ridge Trail. It's paved, but that's okay. Is that a ski lift down there? What do they got there? A gondola system? See down in the valley? Beautiful day.
We soon found this little ski hut and an answer to our question. This is the upper cable terminal for what we learned is the Paloma ski lift.
It's not a gondola, it's a ski lift. Probably hold on to it. And way across the clouds there, the land far away, is Canada. We got so close to Canada. Didn't quite make it. Thanks, Trump.
Originally, we were going to go to Canada on this trip, but when we were making our reservations, the US was putting high tariffs on Canada, and they were pretty pissed. We decided to stay out of the politics and on US soil. Ah, but what soil it was. We were having a great morning, and all along the trail were little signs pointing out the different flowers all around us.
Hurricane Ridge is pretty awesome. Look at this view. Oh my gosh. I'm glad we did this on our last day in Olympic National Park because it's just spectacular. But we saved the best for last.
There she is, the queen of the mountain.
That was where the bench was. Now look at this. Crazy. That could be Hurricane Hill. Let's go. All right, we reached the top. Up there's Port Angeles. And that way is mainland Washington State. Took a ferry over a couple days ago. What a view. Good way to spend a morning.
Selfie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The view was so good, we didn't get just one selfie, we got two.
Another view of Port Angeles down there. Beyond is Washington State. Way up there, Spitalland way up there is Canada. Look, there's even just a little bit of snow. One last little view. Juan de Fuca Strait. And I was wrong, that is all Canada. Just got some service so I could look at the map. All that's Canada beyond the fog. The fog represents the tariffs. And this way? Not bad either. Okay, heading back.
But before we do, just a few more looks at those views. In these next couple of slides, you can see Hurricane Ridge Road that we were about to drive back down to the Olympic National Park Visitor Center. Before we get back in the van though, Joanna, what did you think about the views on Hurricane Ridge?
This is such a lovely view. I'm so glad we came to this spot. It's soul sweetening.
So sweet.
Okay, well, after that, we got back in the van and started down the hill. This was a view out of our windshield on the way down. We decided to stop at one of the pull-offs where the rain shadow phenomenon of this area was explained. As you can see on this day, we were well within that rain shadow and had a great view, even halfway down the mountain.
On the far side of the water is Victoria, Canada. This is Port Angeles on the US side.
We continued down from Hurricane Ridge and stopped at the Port Angeles Wilderness Information Center. The center had several interesting displays, including this raised relief map of the entire park. Look, there in the center is Soldock Campground. Notice Soldock River. We're going to come back to that later. The only elk we saw on the whole trip was in the information center. They also had this display of the original Beaumont cabin. I thought these bear cans were interesting. You rent them out for backcountry camping and then return them here. After the visitor center, we headed off to Crescent Lake.
It's Crescent Lake. Very beautiful. And we're going on a hike to a 90-foot waterfall. I don't remember the name, but I'm sure I will.
The name of the waterfall is Merrimere Falls, and the trail to it has an unusual beginning.
Gotta go underneath the 101 freeway to get to this waterfall. Go to the light.
The trail to the falls is about 1.8 miles out and back and wanders through some beautiful old-growth forest.
I don't know. Looks pretty cool on this side too.
Another beautiful sight, and you know what that means. More photos and selfies. After the falls, we headed back to the lake and decided to check out Lake Crescent Lodge.
A view of Crescent Lake here.
This is a photo of a bridge along the Spruce Railroad Trail on the opposite side of the lake. Standing on Barnes Point, Lake Crescent Lodge was built in 1914 at a cost of $50,000. It originally had 7 rooms, and 5 of them are still in use today.
Yeah, this is the inside of the lodge. Very cute.
From the lodge, we drove back towards our campsite. The relief map from the visitor center shows how Soldock River is funneled through a canyon and creates the Salmon Cascades.
I guess the salmon are supposed to jump up these falls, get up the Soldark River. Hard to imagine it happening, but that's what they say. Another view of the falls. I think we missed the salmon. Let's have a chicken salad instead. Uh-huh. It's the bottom of the falls. It'd be a great swimming hole. We have our suits, but we're not going in.
From the Salmon Cascades, it was a short trip back to camp. This was us on our last night at Olympic National Park. Join us next time as we make the slow journey down the coast back towards Southern California. Ulu Maka.